Hey everyone, in this video I have the latest innovation from Wecreat. It's the Lumos dual laser source Galvo laser. And to test it out, I'm going to be color marking some 304 stainless steel and a new material for me, some titanium. I'm going to go through the software setup that's included with the machine along with the machine setup as well. All that coming up in this video. Thanks for joining me on the Laser Channel where we learn, create, and share. My name is Greg, and let's jump into it right away by color marking this 304 stainless steel. As mentioned, I'm going to be using the free Make It software. I'll have a link down below for you to check that out. You can download that without a machine and check out some of the features. If you're using any of the products from Wecreat, I highly recommend using their Make It software because it takes full advantage of all the special features on the machine. Like this machine has a built-in camera system and it comes fully calibrated when I use the Make It software. Now with that, let's jump into the computer and check out the setup for generating a color test chart for today's first project. Oh, I've got too many icons on my desktop. There we go, Wecreat Make It software. So the first thing I'm going to do is color engraving. I'm going to turn that on. And then we're going to go over here to the toolbox and color engraving test. And if I'd like to watch the tutorial video, I can click yes. And I'm going to just have this load in because I'm actually going to copy this web link and put it down in the video description for you. But there is a video here. It's about 5 minutes long and it goes through in great detail, step by step, on how to get the color test chart like they see in the thumbnail screen right here. We're not going to watch that right now, but feel free to do that on your own. I'll go next step, and then we're going to manually focus the Lumos machine down to the stainless steel material. Before I place the material down inside of the machine, I am going to take some denatured alcohol and get any oil residue and any fingerprints off the surface. That's going to produce the best results for this engraving test along with the project later on in the video. I'll use the focus knob on the back of the machine to make sure that the two dots, red and blue, overlap. The first test is going to purposely defocus the laser. This is a very common practice when we're color marking different types of metal. It's going to remind me to close the shield in the front, and then I can click the button on the front and it will start the focus test. The focus test is complete, and let's check out the results. What I'm going to be looking for is the richest color blue. This step is complete, and for me, I thought the nicest, most consistent blue was at 166. I'll select that, and I just heard the machine reset the focus to that distance. The next step is the color array test. It's going to make a little chart with different speeds and different power levels to generate different colors. From here, I'll click on send, and once again, it's going to go through and make sure that I have this closed or remind me to close it. The machine will run with it open. Of course, we just want to make sure that we have our safety glasses on. And then I just hit power, or the start button, excuse me, on the top, and we'll start this color array test. Oh, check that out. I got all these cool colors. I really like the color spectrum down here. There's going to be about 3 or 4 colors I'll be picking out for today's project. The other really cool thing is that the Lumos machine has had a couple firmware updates along with a software update for the Wecreat software. And that means on this color test chart, the text on the side here actually shows up. The previous versions of firmware and software, these didn't really engrave where you could really see them all that easily. So it's nice to see that Wecreat has addressed that. Let's check out the project for this 304 stainless steel. I have this kind of mandala pattern here, and I color coded the different layers to kind of simulate the different colors that I'm going to be pulling off of that test chart I just made. So if you're wondering how I got to this step, I have an Adobe subscription, and with that comes a lot of free images. There's also pixabay.com where I can download images for free personal use. For projects like this, I highly recommend downloading the file type SVG, Scalable Vector Graphic. That is going to produce the easiest results when handling and editing the object or the graphic. So originally, this is what the SVG file looks like, and all I need to do is just simply grab the outside circle here, and I can come down to layer, or actually go up to the color palette. That will automatically assign it to a different color. So let's say I want that a dark blue, and I could use something like a dark blue to represent that color. And then I can just go into all the different parts here, holding down Shift as I select the different parts of the graphic. And once again, I can select that same color. And then you get the general idea. I can select different objects and assign them different colors to different layers. And I can do that until I have the color array that I like, and then kind of match that up to the test color array that I just ran. And that's what we've got right here. I'm going to take this and delete all of that out. When I click on the layers, we're going to see that I've got 3 layers, and when I click on each layer, we're going to see that I have the corresponding settings, again, off of that color test chart, making sure that the line density is cranked all the way up to 300, because that's how that test chart was created. And I can click on the different layers, and we're going to see that basically it's just the speed of the machine is going to change to generate all the different colors. When I click off to the side here, I do have to have color engraving checked on, and that focus distance from the first chart that we made, I do have to have that entered in. Now, from here, all I need to do is go and hit the start button up here and watch this being made. I'm going to take my piece of material and simply flip it over, and once again, I'm going to take some denatured alcohol, make sure that I have any oil and fingerprints off of this. I'll get it positioned underneath the laser, and we'll watch a little video montage of the 304 stainless steel being color engraved. Little tip before I hit the start button, on these larger color engravings, it can heat the material up, and in rare cases, it can start to heat warp the material. To combat that, I take these little guide angle pieces and I use them as clamps to secure the work material down to the surface. The surface is aluminum and works as a great heat sink. And if you're wondering why you might be seeing a slow blue line for the framing, that just has to do with the camera settings. In real life, I see this as basically a solid blue line. Hey, I'm going to break into the video here because it's been running for about 5 minutes. Everything's running smoothly on it. But when I went to go check the computer on the progress, there's a progress bar across the bottom here, and it has not even registered. Before, there was an estimated time, and it was over 8 hours for this color engraving. The size of this is about 85 inches by 85 millimeters by 85 millimeters.
And now the moment we've been waiting for is here.
The first color marking is all complete, and it took closer to 9 hours rather than 8 hours to get this all complete. And I've got kind of mixed feelings on what I think of the results. Initially, it looks pretty cool because I've got all these different color textures, but really the point of making this project was to make 3 colors to make up this entire pattern, and it definitely has a lot more colors in it than that. So I don't know. What do you think about the results off of this first test? I readjusted this first project. Maybe it catches the light a little bit more. And normally on a project like this, if I'm not getting the results that I want, I still produce the video. I just kind of end things right here because this, again, took all day yesterday. We are now into the next day. But I really do want to color mark this titanium because I never color marked titanium before, and I think it'd be really cool to check that out. The process for color marking the titanium is going to be the same as it was for this one. We're going to run the defocus test first and then run the color array test second. Before I place the titanium inside the Lumos, I am going to make sure that the surface is all clean of any grease, oil. Well, this actually looks a lot more promising. I've got a number of colors to pick from here. Got a nice color palette, and it looks like the prominent colors are going to be a light gold, a dark gold, dark blue, and a light blue. I'll pick 3 colors from this color array. I think I'll use one of the gold colors, the dark blue, and one of the light blues, and I'll apply those settings within the Make It software to this graphic that we used on the stainless steel project. Back in the Make It software, I have the same graphic with the same 3 layers. When I click on the first layer, we're going to see that I've got the settings needed to produce the color for one of the lighter blues, and then for the gold color, I adjusted the settings for that as well. And for the dark blue, I have that adjusted as well. Of course, making sure that the line density is maxed out at 300. When I click off to the side, I do have to have color engraving enabled, and then that focus distance from that first test that we ran, I need to enter that number so that the color array chart colors match up to the settings within the software. This all looks good, and I'm going to hit the framing button and get my work material properly positioned inside of the Lumos. We'll see that I have the work material clamped down once again, and I think the reality is that this is going to be running so slow that it's never going to heat warp that titanium, but it's just a good practice that I like to get into, is always securing my work material inside of a machine, whether it's the Wecreat Vision machine or the Lumos. From here, I think I can just hit the start button and send the project out to the machine. And here we're running a little bit faster speeds. This is only going to take 5 hours and 8 minutes. If the time estimate is correct, I think it actually takes a little bit longer than that. So a couple hours faster than yesterday, but still not something like an 45 minutes to an hour to engrave a 4" by 4" piece of material, or if you're on metric, 100 millimeters square. So with this, I'm going to hit the send button, and I will catch up with you later on today. A little over 5 hours later, and the color marking is all complete. Once both projects were complete, I cleaned them off one more time with some denatured alcohol. And then I applied one nice coat of UV resistant clear coating. A nice gloss finish really brings out the shine of the metal, and it gets the colors to pop in both of these just a little bit more. The stainless steel, if we use our imagination, and a lot of it, we could see that there's 3 distinct colors. Even though there's a lot of blotchy colors, the effect looks pretty cool, but that's not the effect I was really looking for. When you check out the titanium one, I think on camera, this is gonna look like it's really cool. It's got a lot of neat effects to it, but once again, I'm only looking for 3 distinct colors, and I'm looking for nice, solid colors. And when we check out things like these triangular petals right here going around the outside, we'll see when we get to the other side, it's kind of a reddish color, but over here, it's kind of a blue. It's all supposed to be the same color. The same thing with these larger triangles facing towards the center. I mean, over here, it's really neat because it transitions from like a fire red to a nice deep blue, but once again, that's not the effect I was going for. I think the best color that turned out is the gold color that's in the middle and around the outside, but once again, there's a lot of color fading in and out, even on the gold. What I'd like to know is if you invested over 13 hours of time color marking these metals, would you be happy with these results? When I was laying out the outline for this video, I was really excited to do some color marking with the Lumos machine, especially on that titanium metal. Now, while it was easy to get the software set up to find some decent settings to get some vibrant colors out of the metals, The 13-hour engraving time total between both of these projects, along with the blotchy, inconsistent colors, leaves me actually really disappointed with the results of today's projects. Now, maybe you're watching this video and you're looking at the projects that I made and you're like, hey, those look pretty cool, and you may not have a problem with that, and maybe that's the effect that you would like on your projects too. Well, I can't say that it's necessarily been fun, but it has been an interesting journey creating this video for all of you. If you found some use out of this video, show this video some love by giving it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I don't know if you want to share this video, but doing any of those things not only helps this channel grow, it's an awesome way to connect video content like this with other great viewers just like yourselves. And until we meet again in the next video, I'm Greg from the Laser Channel, where we learn, create, and share.